Hi, Hillary.
Hi, I was trying to find the unmute. How are you?
Good. Where are you today?
Well, actually, I'm just running late, so I'm headed over there.
Oh,
Where are
excellent.
you?
I'm in DC.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm still running our campus in DC.
How much longer is that?
I come back August 15th.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a bit more.
Yeah,
Nice.
5 more weeks maybe. Something like
That's
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Is everyone else joining in person?
I think so. I don't know if the fact that we're here and it's recording makes me think that Matt might have set it up, but I haven't seen Matt yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, once you're there, just make sure that you zoom me in, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll just stay on the line until I get there.
Okay.
Okay.
Weird. All right. Can you hear us, Quinn?
I can.
All
Yeah.
right. Here, my fault.
Well, I do have it open. I might be the only one with functioning technology. If
Yeah.
you'd like me to.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know why it's not showing up on my,
Okay,
yeah, that's weird.
that's weird.
It's not. Let's see.
Hillary is actually on her way to physically join you. She just was running a little late.
Okay.
Hey Quinn, how are you?
Good, good. I can't see you all, so I'm guessing that I hear Darren and Paul and Sarah and Matt. Is that right?
Yeah. There's Quinn. He's still.
Sorry, we had some technical difficulties in the room where Matt's restarting the computer. We had blue screen of death, and
No, no worries.
so we will.
My kids learning about the script. So.
They don't.
So we can't start until we can record, is that right?
How you doing, Quinn?
I'm doing great, thank you. For those of you that weren't involved in that conversation, I invited Sarah to kind of lead out on the agenda from the room today. And I will contribute as useful, but I thought it would be better to have someone leading from the meeting room today, and we'll just spread the love around a little bit. Some of the agenda items are Sarah's. So Sarah, I was wondering if you'd be willing to lead us out.
I would, but my phone is just showing up a blank agenda. It has the agenda paper and the letterhead, but it doesn't show the agenda items on there.
I can,
But Darren's got the agenda items.
I can
Okay.
tell you what the items
He's-
are, and you could
Oh, and here comes
Then-
Hillary.
then lead the discussion.
Well, Darren,
Sure.
Darren, if you want to do it, go for it. If that's easier, but that's fine.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just do it, and I'll just announce each agenda item and then say, okay, Sarah. It'll be much the same.
Yeah, okay, why don't you just go ahead and lead it out? I just want to make sure everybody has an opportunity.
Yeah, sorry.
Hi, Hillary. How are you?
Great.
Good.
How are you?
Doing well. We're, even though it's late, we're still chatting because technological problems. We aren't in recording yet, so we can't start.
Sounds
So
good.
we can stay on.
So you say whatever you want. Say,
How was the 4th in the nation's capital?
Well, I'm sure it was rowdy. I was not here. I was on a national park adventure.
oh, we're now. All right. Maybe we've successfully, we're now recording, Quinn.
Oh, got it. Okay, looks good. I can see you too.
Okay, hooray. So we'll go ahead and start. Welcome to the Natural Resources Stewardship Committee meeting of July 6, 2023 at 5 p.m. Sorry. Agenda item 1 is participation at Orem Farmers Market.
I took my item, I threw it on there.
This is you.
Well, yeah, it's just bringing up an old topic. Just wanted to see where you were at. I have talked to the organizers of that event. They are willing to allow the committee to have a booth for free.
Hey.
I think if you want to do it, then I could follow up, still following up with Jason on obtaining canopy and tables and stuff, but that motivate me to wrap that up. I suppose the only topic then would be, what would you want to do? And that, if you do want to do it, will you man it? And, how frequent and what type of information you want to try and get out. I mean, last time we talked about the Earth Day event, and you thought maybe more games and stuff might be helpful, but anyways, it is an option if you want to pursue it.
Yeah, my thought on that was, I think I don't want to do a booth till we have all the cool stuff that we want to have at the booth. Like we kind of talked about, we want like a
Yeah.
banner, we want like,
Yeah.
we want maybe like some games, we want some set flyers that like all the different things that we want to emphasize. I think that would be most worth our time. is
The
if we
banners
all-
and stuff won't take too much time. It's
Okay.
your other
So
stuff that needs to be really
as
hashed
far
out.
as like the games go or whatever, I have additional time on my hands, so if we know what we want to do, I wouldn't mind putting something together. So, I don't know. I know we had talked about the spinning wheel and we talked about like, what's it called? Cornhole.
Cornhole, yeah, like some
Um,
sort of like spinning wheel with like some sort of giveaway is always popular. It also is, I mean, we just have to think like, what's the goal,
Right.
right? Do we
What
just
if we-
want our name recognition or what?
Sorry, I had no idea about the goal,
Yeah.
right when you started that sentence.
Yeah.
Name recognition is good, but what if the goal were something like, you know, we've talked a lot about bikes recently. And what if the goal were like asking questions about, they have to answer like a couple of questions about bikes. Do you own bikes? How often do you bike around Orem? Where's your favorite place to bike to? What do you think Orem needs by way of bikes? Like 4 simple questions like that. Answer 4 questions, spin the wheel, get a prize.
Mhm.
I don't know. That we would collect data. I think it'd be useful to see what people, where people are at on bikes and learn some things about it.
Sarah, you set up like, were they Qualtrics surveys or whatever? I remember you had an iPad.
I
that you
did, yeah, it was
touch
like a
tracker
Google
or
form.
something.
It was a Google form that I did. At Touch a Truck, so.
Okay. Is that relatively easy? And
Yeah.
what was your experience doing that?
That was interesting. I want to say I got like a decent amount of participants. I don't know, maybe even I could look it up. I'm gonna say 70. That sounds like a lot.
No, that seems like you're right. I
So,
remember.
I don't know. I mean, like, it was an okay amount. And while people were standing in line, and again, I tried to choose a neutral event
Mhm.
to try to get a cross section of family perspectives. And then they were just standing in line. There's like nothing else to do but stand in line. So I was like, hey, do you live in Orem? And then if they did, then I invited them to
Yeah.
answer 4 questions or whatever. And then we use that data in a presentation at a work session one time.
I think it's a good idea, like, as long as the survey is relatively quick and painless, I
Yeah.
think we would get buy-in.
And I almost don't think of it as a survey as much of as a chance just to take people's temperature. I think about it less as data and more as opportunities to learn stuff, right? Boy, 4 or 5 people we've talked to all say, gee, wouldn't it be nice if they had, you know, a bike rack at Sarah Park or whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
And it's an opportunity to get people to think about these things.
Right, yeah,
that
have them think
maybe they weren't
about
really
it.
thinking about it, but
Yeah,
now we're
just-
formally inviting them to talk about their favorite places.
Yeah, just start a conversation, you know, hey, we're interested in bikes in Orem and knowing what people think about bikes. Just tell us about your bike experience, right? And just learn what people think, and that would be more my idea.
Uh,
Go
Okay.
ahead, Quinn.
Yeah, can I jump in there for a second? I like that idea too, Darren.
Yeah.
I think perhaps there are 3 things that our presence at the farmer's market could do for us, and that they require different prep work for them. So one is, I do think we want to come out of there with a better brand. Which means that in addition to people seeing us, that they understand something about what we do and what we stand for, and that it's a positive feeling. So that, I think, does require us to have a setup that looks like it will make us look good instead of really scrappy, maybe. And then secondly, I think a booth at the farmer's market could be a good educational opportunity. And this comes back to what we can give people for stopping by. Is there some information that they otherwise would not have that would be useful for them? This is where I've been pushing things like the rebates, the environmental rebates, and the various ways in which they can contribute to the environment and also contribute to their bottom line. But there may be other kinds of information we can also provide, like we could, with permission from the Parks Department, maybe we could have a little parks quiz or something. How many parks are there in Orem, and where are the parks? We could do something with bike lanes. We could do all the stuff that we care about. We could try to find ways of sharing bite-sized information that people might find useful. And then the third thing is this idea that we can actually learn. So as we engage with the community, we can learn information, and that might be the easiest one, as Darren suggests, to actually launch with, because it just requires us having conversations and knowing what we're trying to learn, and have a little quiz that would invite conversation. So I'm just wondering if maybe if we make progress in each of those areas, then I think we'd have a good experience there.
I will volunteer to build a cornhole game, and we can modify it.
Yeah,
That's something that maybe the kids, like younger kids, could be playing
yeah.
while
We chat with
the
them.
older people can be answering the questions and whatever.
Yeah,
So I will volunteer to make, what's that?
Like an earth hole game.
Yeah.
Earth Bowl game. That's cool.
Yeah, so I'll think on that and build that.
Get in the climate change hole or.
Well, I'm thinking if we can
Ozone layer.
have different, like, type of layers, like different, you have the same base and then change out the tops or the labels on
That's
the,
clever.
and see if it could be modified for different themes.
Yeah,
I'll think on that.
plant a tree. Yeah. If you got, the cornhole says different things. That's,
Right.
yeah. Turned up my thermostat. Yeah, watered less. Yeah, so I know that I am typically the person who says I don't want to staff it, but I love the Orem Farmers Market, and I love that it's on a Wednesday night and not a Saturday. My Saturdays are sacred, and so I would love to staff it. This sounds like fun. I would enjoy
And
it.
there's, starting
So I'm
next
going to-
week, they're having concerts
Yeah.
that night too. So there's a lot of people. So the potential for reaching a large audience is growing.
I love it. I actually am quite enthusiastic about this possibility. I think it's a cool way to accomplish the things that Clint laid out.
Well, what if we shoot for a goal of doing something in August?
Yeah.
Starting in August, that gives some time to
Yeah.
work on cornhole, and it gives me some time to work on your branding.
Yeah, I think we need a minimum viable product to launch. And what that looks like is some branding and amusements. It looks like something we can share. We have some insight to share, maybe in the form of brochures. And then I like the idea of also trying a short survey as a way of engaging people in conversation that might be productive for us. Matt, where are we on the thinking about having some branding?
Yeah, we'll just start working on that. You have an event coming up.
That's good.
What, you talked about giveaways. What are we thinking for giveaways?
Well, I mean, for the adults, I think the giveaways would be a nice brochure with these rebates.
rebate
Or
stuff?
something like that, but I don't know what our printing budget would be, like, I feel like.
Could we have a QR code that sends them to?
Or
We
like
totally talked about that, I think.
Right, that, I think it would be ideal if we eventually could have a landing page,
Mhm.
like we as a committee have a landing page that then links out to all these other
Right.
things so that they see like we're connected. But at the very least, we could have QR codes that send them to.
Yeah,
you know,
The rebate. goes.
rebate slices
Yes.
through the central water
Well, I'm not gonna wanna send them there since
Yeah.
they can't participate.
but like,
Right.
Unless
like-
you wanna send them to a petition to the council.
Right.
I don't know if I wanna-
Well, they can participate at the state level ones, like a toilet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are other.
And the water.
and there's power ones. Like,
Yeah.
I was just
And
looking
there's
through
Rock
what
Mountain
the.
Power.
Yeah, there are some
Dominion
other
Energy
ones that-
has a couple.
Right.
Yeah. So there's
I do like the idea on a printed brochure of having some relatively generic language around, did you know, that all these various rebates are available, but then having a QR code that they scan that takes them to that so that we don't have to update the brochure every time
yeah.
the rebates get updated, right? And it also absolves us of some liability in terms of getting it wrong if we're pointing them to other links.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
So that's more for adults,
Mhm.
which is fun, but not nearly as fun as we might do for the kids, which might be.
I have leftover dum-dums.
Yeah, like, well, I don't know, do we have budget to buy candy? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
probably not much,
Yeah.
because we spend most of the budget on the awards
Other
and,
words, yeah.
but,
I mean, the game is probably fun enough. I don't know that we need to have candy.
Since they
I'll
Well, they-
explore that.
They offered to do the bike valet for us and that didn't happen. If we can argue that we are learning about people's bike preferences, would they maybe be willing to allocate $100 towards our efforts here or something like that?
Oh, like the transportation. commission or something?
Yeah, I don't know, just, well, no, but like Jason said, we could have $1,000 to run a bike valet. And we did so, if we can't have $1,000 for a bike valet, we have $100 to help
Yeah.
fund a bike survey.
That's worth asking. Matt, a couple of technical questions here. Is there anything that would prevent us from receiving donations?
No, I don't believe so. I'll double check on that. Maybe some legal questions, but
Because, I suspect that there are people out there that would be willing to also donate to some of this, although if the city cares about it, we should also petition the city. And then, is there anything that would prevent us from handing out maps of Orem City parks or Orem City bike trails? Would that feel like we're stepping on anyone's toes and they might not like that? Or would that be considered a public good from our transport and parks people?
I don't think there's no issues with that.
Do such things exist that we could put on cardstock or something like that, so that we could hand out, here are the Orem bike trails, here are the Orem city parks. How many have you been to, right? We could have a little quiz as part of our quiz. maybe guess how many Orem City parks there are. And, how many have you actually been to? Here's the map, count and see.
That's fun.
Just as a way of helping people recognize that there's a lot of outdoor things that they haven't taken advantage of yet.
I'll probably have to produce the map.
That would be amazing. If you had capacity to do that. Again, I think these would be like single page cards you can hand out, like in postcard size, map of Orem parks, map of Orem bike trails, things like that. Those would be marvelous things. If I was going to the farmer's market and someone handed me those, I would be happy.
Yeah. That's a very cool idea.
And it would fit nicely with Darren's bike quiz idea, and then we could also have a little bit of a park quiz tacked onto that or something.
We do like a park quiz, like, do you know where, well, I guess we have multiple splash pads now, right? Or do we just have one? Just
It would be
Palisade?
one,
There's, yeah, it's the,
Where the golf course used to be North Fork.
yeah, Palisade. But like, which one has a pond with ducks and which one is the bike park, or to identify kind of some of the distinguishing features of some of the parks.
I think a cool piece of information that we can share that might surprise a lot of people is that Orem actually extends up into the canyon. And that some of the, the canyon park space actually is part of the city of Orem, because I think many people do not understand that. So what I'm hearing here is that, Matt, having a deadline by which we could have some canopy and tablecloth branding is a good idea for you. That you have the capacity potentially to produce these.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna commit to a final product at this point.
And I think we have some enthusiasm among our committee if you need help. We could spread that out a little bit.
Well, the resources, the GIS layers are largely there. It's just bringing it together, making it look professional.
Okay.
I mean, I have students that can do it, I can do that. The data easily. That and I will work on the map.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's sounding good. Anything else on that then? So we will.
Do we have a community logo that we can use in this branding?
I think Matt was gonna work on,
You have a box with
Redesigning
some letters
the-
on it,
he was gonna read
not much
update
of
it
a
a little
logo.
bit.
Yeah, because that would be good to have on the card or the pamphlets or the rebates or whatever, just so that we have the brand on everything.
I like the idea of going live with this sometime in advance of our first main fall event, which is the hike on September 9th. Because we could also use this to advertise the hike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Second half of August, is that a reasonable timeline? That would give us a chance to also work on it in our next meeting.
What day did you say? Second week?
I was thinking second half of August. Do you have a proposed date?
Yeah, the 19th. Oh, sorry, the 16th would be better. I will be out of town for about more than a week before that.
Maybe the 16th or 23rd would be a good target. I will also be back in town by then, so I can help out.
Okay. Great. So it sounds like, right. Okay. I don't think I need to summarize again. I think we've done a nice job of that. Any other points on this? Okay. Agenda item number 2, guests to schedule for 2023. We're in 2023.
This is my agenda item. I can speak to this one. I had proposed at one of our last meetings that maybe every other meeting, we try to have a guest that can come and teach us and that we can build some alignment with. I have 2 people on my list for this year that I'd like to invite, and that's Bremen Leak, who won our award, and Don Jarvis from Provo. But I wanted to use this time to collect names, since you all have a rich network, of anyone else you think would be particularly useful to join us before the end of the year.
I don't know if we're I like this idea of having some guests. I guess we could think big, and we could get Eric Ellis, of the manager of the Utah Lake. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Hear about his plans, and I'd love to have him in the room. Yeah, if he'd come, he might. So that's a possibility. Maybe someone associated with Conserve Utah Valley, just to kind of learn what they're working on and to build relationships there. So those are my 2 think bigger ideas.
Who would you put on the list for Conserve Utah Valley, Darren or Sarah?
Let's see, I'd go with the guy who's in charge of it. What is the CEO, but it's not.
Right.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Trying to figure it out right now.
I can almost picture his face.
Yeah. Hang on, it'll take me a minute. I'm really out of it too, because anyway, we can think about other things.
Okay.
Uh,
Is there anyone from the city that you'd like to have attend? Should we invite the mayor, for example, to attend? Should we? Is Debbie still our city councilor?
She is.
Okay, we just haven't seen her for a while.
She's working full-time now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's at my.
Matt, is there someone from the green team that we could have a productive conversation with?
What green team?
That's what I'm asking.
No, because there's no green team.
I want to learn more about the smart meters. Are those like? That'd be a good thing to learn more about.
So that would be the water person, right?
yeah, we've
The smart water things.
When did they come earlier this year?
Yeah. Last year, I think.
February. I don't know if I'll blend it
We
together.
priced him on October 6th.
Oh. Time.
We gave him feedback. But I think he actually came on.
I think we might need to wait just a little bit longer to invite the water folks
Okay.
back.
Yeah. I guess Conserve Utah Valley has changed its leadership. That guy I was thinking about isn't with them anymore. The executive director is Kay Nelson.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Carolyn Jardine is the director of marketing. She's very good. She might be good to have. I think she would be a great presenter or this or person to outreach with. So, yeah,
About Kathy Lewis.
it was Kathy
She's
Lewis.
our economic development director.
So like connecting with the business community on
Yeah, we've
seeing
never done that
how,
very well.
how that, because I know that they have those like, is it monthly lunch?
Monthly luncheon.
Yeah, luncheon with the business, you know, the Orem Business Alliance, I think is what it's called,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
So that might be an opportunity to identify perhaps maybe one of those luncheons, we could introduce ourselves to the Orem Business Alliance.
I know Kathy, so I could reach out and see if she thought that would be a good idea for her to come. Matt, anybody else on the planning side that you think would be useful?
I guess the other things that I'm curious about, but again, it might be too soon, is the city center, the Heritage Park. Those are ones that
Just
we've
like
talked about before, but
updates.
I don't know
We,
at what point we connect back with them.
I think we set an expectation that somehow we provided feedback and then we would learn about their choices, right? And so that feedback loop and just seeing if it made any difference is a good idea. So if I wouldn't mind having, even if it's just 15 minutes, having some of those folks that have come before just come back and let us know where they're at. I can't remember names off the top of my head, though.
I can't either.
It's good things these are all recorded.
That's true. I can go back to that.
Specifically,
The city center design, landscape design.
you just coordinate through me.
Okay. Just where, I mean, just like an update, I guess is what we're talking about. You know, what,
Okay.
which of our suggestions or whatever they might have gone with, and which they didn't.
I can figure that out on my own. I'll put that on our list for the second half of the year. See if we can get somebody to come back before the end of the year. This has given me a lot of names. That's I think sufficient for me for this year, and then we can renew our list for next year at some point. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay, Craig Christensen.
Right.
That's the guy's name who used to be,
Yeah.
he was there as recently as last fall, so I'm not sure when Conserve Utah Valley made the change. But I don't know, I think some conversation with folks like that would be helpful. Okay, next item, fall activities communication plan. Who wants to lead the discussion?
I propose that just because it's gonna come up faster than we think, so we can work backwards. Obviously, I mean, we talked about the opportunity to engage at a farmer's market. If we're ready in time, then that would be another opportunity to get the word out. But again, like strategize so that we can maximize attendance.
Is there gonna be a harvest festival thing again this
Yeah.
year? Because if we have the booth at the farmer's market, we tell us to set the booth
Yeah.
that and advertise again. I don't know what the time is.
Although I think that's normally in
Is that in
October,
October?
like the beginning of October is usually. Are they doing one this year, do you know? A harvest festival?
When they did up at the hospital.
Okay.
Like advertising.
Because last year they said that they weren't going to do it, but then they ended up doing it. So I'm not sure what the status is, if they were phasing it out or not. But yeah, that would. And it,
I mean, we could already, if our fall activities are already over, we can start to already just plant the seeds of like also do
Sure.
a community bike ride in the spring, you know,
Mhm.
like just like.
And so we have 2 events in September, a hike at the beginning, and then if we're doing the garden. Hawks on Knox.
The Pox on
Or
Knox,
the
the Zero Escaping Tour, yeah.
Then, yeah, I mean. Essentially, that's 2 months away. But 2 months from now is the hike.
Yeah,
And so establishing some kind of timeline for preparing for whatever the hike enrichment activity is gonna be, if we're gonna have somebody speaking there, or if we're just gonna show up, or if we're gonna have refreshments, what that's gonna look like, and then how we're gonna advertise it. And then Fox on Knox, that's just, again, a little over 2 months away, 2.5
mhm,
months away.
yeah,
So that's why I thought if we could make it now.
a hike enrichment activity,
Where is the hike?
Timpanogos Park. So again, I don't know if we had decided anything specific, if we were gonna have, I think somebody had mentioned maybe having somebody come and talk. Or maybe something for those who want to stay in the park and don't want to join the hike necessarily. You know. But-
Um, Well, I mean, we can use our social media, right?
So how far in advance, how many notifications do we think we need? Just one?
I think you need like, we're 1 month out, we're 2 weeks out, like we're 2 days out, sort of thing. And can we also get it on the city's social media?
That's normally where we,
That's the.
Yeah,
okay,
that's where
the
we-
only thing I'm doing, okay. Let's see how tapped I am. Terrible.
are you game for doing social media for that? Or are you? Okay.
It's so sad after I have epic posts ready. for the
Oh, that's
bike
right, for the
one.
bike thing.
So you
Yeah.
can just, I
We'll
can
use it next
reuse.
year.
For next year, yeah.
I can
Oh,
reuse.
use summer. Yeah. Um,
Sure.
so
For
we'll
what
have.
time?
Oh, yeah. What time is the hike? It's a Saturday, correct?
Saturday morning or?
The 9th, right? It is Saturday the 9th in the morning, but I don't think we've decided the time, so.
fairly warm still,
So we want to probably start early, not
right?
Like an
8,
8 o'clock?
8 o'clock start.
yeah.
This kid's gonna be the
Yeah.
best.
I was just gonna say.
My kids are about 5.
8:30?
Well,
8:30.
Come on, 8:30.
I mean, it can still be very hot that time of year for sure.
Yeah.
And in past years, it's been full of wildlife smoke too, wildfire smoke.
True.
So we're gonna have to be careful about that. We will have to see, right?
Right.
I'm now thinking, I'm now like, okay,
Yeah,
got
that's
September on the radar, and I'm like, oh yeah. Second week of September, lots of wildfire smoke, super hot. I wonder if it's even like, I wonder if it's even worth like, think about a slightly later date, because it really is hot and there's lots of smoke. I mean, maybe we won't have much wildfire smoke this year. We didn't last year, which was a blessing, but it was still hot. But we can, yeah. But it is so hot that, but yeah, that's a hard time to start. 8 a.m. It is fairly early. If people want to bring their kids.
And how long of an event are we anticipating? A couple hours?
Yeah, 2 hours, maybe start to finish.
So then we're done by 10:30, 11.
Yeah, 2 hours or less, I would say. One idea for an enhancement is, are the DWR people who control the land up there.
Oh, yeah.
They might be willing to send somebody to help.
Yeah.
Like say what the land is for,
Cool.
that it's the point of the land, the reason why it's set aside, why it's not being developed is because hunters pay for access and they manage. And the reason why they've got a whole bunch of rules up there now is because they try to manage it for wildlife. And so hearing how they're trying to manage it, what wildlife and how they think it's coming along, that might be interesting to people.
Yeah.
So I would volunteer to contact the DWR people and ask them if they would be willing to send a delegate for an activity like that.
Cool.
Does that
Yeah.
sound like an interesting
Yeah.
potential topic?
Yeah.
And then that person could stay in the park and talk while other people, they could start maybe by giving a bit of a, I don't know what the sequence of events looks like. I mean, do they also want to hike with us? They might. So he might want to do like a 20-minute presentation, or she, and then they take us up the trail for an hour and then return. And along the trail, they can talk too. So it could be something like that. I don't know if a split event makes sense, because I can imagine if we tried to station that person at the park who had some interesting stuff, and people might not want to go on the hike, and or people who, right, it feels like people might be interested in both getting the information and going on the hike. So those are some of my thoughts.
Yeah.
Quinn?
Love all those thoughts. Those sound good.
Okay. I can, yeah, I can contact the DWR people and ask them about, you know, to myself here.
Trying to remember why we had circled September 9th.
Yeah, let's go back to that. Is the date a good date? I mean, it could be, right? Sometimes September mornings are lovely, but especially early September mornings can be hideous. Early, yeah.
I think if we pushed it back a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, we just start getting into the pox on Knox thing, but I mean, maybe we're trying to bite off too much early on and trying to do both, and we should do one.
Or maybe we just lower our expectations on both.
Yeah, we try to do both, but they're both casual, very casual.
I mean, the hike
affairs.
is a little bit easier to just.
Yeah, the
what
hike
happens.
is easy.
It's
Actually, in the pox on Knox is not hard to put together either. I just have to find the people who would be willing to be listed and
Right.
have some kind of, you know, I'm thinking of this as like a, right, people go at their own pace and look at different houses, and then maybe afterwards they can gather for some treats and to chat about what they saw, if they feel like it. So I do also still like my sidewalk chalks idea. Chalks to draw on the sidewalks as part of the pox on.
And that's the thing, like,
So
it's quirky, it's weird, but if
Yeah.
you market it well, it could be a drawing.
but still,
to
that
draw a lot
it
of
would be
families.
hard to create a list of addresses
But
for
that's the
people to
hard- yeah.
visit. But the only hard part is getting their consent.
Right.
And so just identifying those people, and I know you have some addresses, and all I have to do is get them from you, I guess, Hillary, and then go show up on their doors and ask them if that's okay, since, you know, you wouldn't give me any of their contact information, which is fine. I would be willing to go knock on their doors, and I'm thinking like 5 or 6 is all, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking just a couple of people. I could probably get a list from the guy in my neighborhood who owns Big Rock Construction and did my yard and does others too. So I don't want to turn into an advertising thing for Big Rock necessarily, but it would be a good source for me. So,
Should be kind of like all in the same neighborhood-ish, right? Like up by you, maybe your house. maybe?
yeah, sure, we could make them all, and so that it's easier for people to Because some people might want to bike around to the different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Where do
so.
you live?
I live on 9th East and 3rd South and. Sorry, 9th East and 3rd South. So yeah, something on the east side maybe, so east of State Street, so we don't have to fuss with crossing State Street.
Yeah.
And maybe north of 12th South and south of 8th North, something like that, so we don't have to fuss with big, huge, busy streets in case people didn't want to do a bike. If I give you that parameters, would you be willing to give me some addresses of people in Cypress? Okay, then I will go knock on their doors and. This does not sound that hard to me. I am happy to, I just need to get going on it.
I was worried about like people going outside of the time that we say, you know, or like,
Yeah,
oh, we're gonna have this tour, garden tour, 10 to 12. Then the homeowners are like, yeah, people are showing up, but like.
yeah. Yeah,
We could
I
have
think we could have
something,
refreshments
Yeah,
as
okay.
like a
right,
final location, then
right,
it feels more time bound.
yeah,
and I was thinking like we could have something that's at each of the sites, like big balloons or whatever, it's like,
Probably not balloons for our committee.
well,
Sorry.
whatever they are. Some like large signage
Right.
or
Right.
something, and like, look for these.
yeah, and then take
And
it
then
down.
take those down
Yeah.
when we're
Yeah.
done, and that's the sign it's open.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're listening to go.
you don't know
If
what?
you like publish the addresses, or if you're like, oh, come here and get the list of addresses from like your house or something. Start here.
So that we don't make the list of addresses publicly
Yeah.
available, we
Yeah.
make it privately available.
Yeah.
So only those who are committed.
Yeah.
They show up, get the addresses.
Yeah.
I think people would feel pretty good about
Yeah.
that.
That's a good idea.
You got anything to say about any of this, Quinn? Sorry if we're ignoring you.
You're not ignoring me. I feel good about that. The only thing that's making me nervous is that because of our temperaments, we are good at coming up with cool ideas and sometimes less good at executing those ideas. So I would just vote for making things as simple as we can and having a compelling operational win rather than doing something that is particularly complex. I guess that's my only comment.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I just feel like this is doable. I can go find 5 people who are willing to be visited, make a list of their addresses, identify an evening between 5 to 7 or a Saturday morning between 8 and 10 and 9 and 11 or something. And I don't know. I feel like this is doable, but. And I don't know, I'm volunteering a lot for both of these, so
Well, that's what I was wondering
maybe I shouldn't be.
if somebody else can do the hike one, like reach out to DWR, or we drop that portion of it, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I'm just well situated for both because I know the DWR people a bit and you know, I care a lot about that area and I've volunteered before up there and I'm part of the general group that helps care for it. So, and then I'm also, so how about this? How about I kind of volunteer to coordinate both of these and then I ask for help as I need it? Is that
Is
okay?
there a deadline that you want us to ask you how those assignments are going?
Yeah, because I don't want to neglect this or forget about it or, well, I have got a good email to myself here and my email is my to-do list, so that's a good thing.
I never did that.
I see Karen at the farmer's market every week. Oh, really? Well,
Yeah,
a few
so-
weeks.
yeah.
I saw Paul last week.
yeah,
Good times.
yeah.
So next time you see, him, just ask him.
Okay, that's right,
In the
yeah.
wild.
Okay.
Wild.
Well, okay, so, yeah. I can, Hillary, will you send me some addresses and those parameters by
Yeah.
when?
I'm gonna, after we're not recording, I'm gonna ask for your like specific address.
Okay.
And then I can.
Okay, great. And, I don't mind. I don't saying my address on the recording.
Okay.
310 South, 900 East.
Okay.
in Orem. Great. So as soon as I get those, I really will. I really don't mind. I'm gonna go around to these places and talk to them. And so, yeah. I promise by this time next month, I will have done a bunch of stuff on this and I will report back and we will have some pretty decent plans. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, by this time next month.
Okay.
So I might want to, yeah, we might want to change the date of that hike. I'm not loving that early in September.
More pillars if we did it.
That's true too. The
My
fall,
favorite.
the fall colors, I mean, they're slow that close, but
Yeah.
you do get some, but not until October. So, the second Saturday in October might be a better time. Is that a problem?
Well, for some families, they go out of town or whatever.
I happen to know precisely when that is. Let me look it up on my calendar because that's when my wife is off work and we've made a big plan this year. And go see our very first grandbaby out in Boston. So,
Yay!
yeah. So no, fall break is the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So I think that second Saturday is available.
It's the 19th to the 23rd.
Yeah. So put that back home somehow. So yeah, tentatively, I might plan on the second Saturday in October as a better Saturday for a hike. Is that okay with you, Quinn, if we change the date, or were you set on that date?
I was not set on that date. I just wanted to spread our events around a little bit. Second Saturday of October.
That would be my preference, I think. I think we'd have, it's almost always great weather around there, and we'd have some leaves changing. Yeah, I think people would be quite interested in that.
Yeah, catching those leaves before they fall off, I think that could be a ton of fun. I will put
Yeah.
that on the calendar.
It's about the very best. That second Saturday is almost always fantastic for this. So
I think that's a great idea.
okay, let's kind of change the date tentatively then. Is that okay, everybody? Yeah. Great. We're running out of time, so maybe I'll keep going. Event booth materials. We've kind of already talked about that, right? Okay. Orem station and transport infrastructure plans. How did that go?
A lot of people showed up. How many were there? Like 150
For the
or
Orem
something like that?
station? review?
Yeah, about 150.
And you guys both facilitated a table?
We did.
And that went okay?
Great.
Good.
Lots of participation. And
I had fun doing it when I did it
Yeah.
as part of my training.
that's right, you did that.
I did it as a part of, I volunteered for the committee, and yeah, the committee did it as a dry run.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else to say about that then?
When did they come back with their scenarios?
They're doing a survey too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
got a survey coming up, and then we'll come back in the fall with scenarios when people are back from vacation and all that.
That'll be
I
interesting.
thought it was good. I think there were like some people from a neighborhood close to the station that were really concerned about like our neighborhood getting torn down. And we're like, that's not gonna happen, like, it's not,
Right.
at least at my table, there was like a heavy dose of that, which was, it's a good kind of reminder, like, okay, we need to clearly communicate, like, when we're talking about certain places or like envisioning the future. What are we
Well,
talking about?
yeah.
What are we not?
Another miscommunication was some people thought that this was like the city deciding to buddy up to developers. And so I clarified this is a state mandated process. And so that alleviated some concerns that I think were out there,
Yeah,
that there was some misunderstanding on that, so.
there were like some young people though that showed up, and there's definitely
Like
like,
students almost?
yeah.
We had one student at our table.
Yay.
Maybe like a little
Love to see
just
that.
graduated students, and
Okay.
kind of you could definitely see the like different generational thinking there. And they shared their ideas too, and I thought that was really great just to see like, yeah, there's lots of ways that people are thinking. It's not just, one way that people are thinking.
It was staggering to hear the average income required to
Yeah.
buy the market price home. It was like what, like $180,000 a year.
Like if you want the average.
The
home,
average home, you have to have $180,000 a year. And that's just
Crazy.
out of reach
It's
for a
crazy.
lot of people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear too, like, there were a lot of folks like, well, Orem's not providing enough affordable housing, like, we need affordable single family homes. And they kind of blame it like on the city, I think, but then there's like, well, actually, let's take a step back, like, the city, I think, is trying to do more high density or in certain areas where it's appropriate. That's not true, but maybe it's something that we should think about, and then it'll help affordability. There's like a real gap in understanding, though, right? Between like, why are our housing prices so big? Why don't we build more single family affordable homes? Like, we don't.
But then there's
The
the
wire
other camp
can't- I
that
don't know,
says
it's
they
so
can
hard.
find housing somewhere else in the county. Yeah,
Oh, I
there
didn't
were
know
a lot
that.
of people that, yeah, where it's like, leave Orem as it is, people can find housing elsewhere in the county.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so,
I didn't go
yeah,
there.
but again, you get a lot of diverse voices at these events. and
Yeah.
For interesting conversations.
I thought it was really interesting.
Good. I had a fun, that is awesome. I think that is the kind of thing that needs to happen, and that's great.
It was really great, like bringing people together too. I think.
Yeah, Matt, the developers seem to be doing a good job here, whoever is the contractor. I like
Oh,
it. Yeah, consultants seem to be doing a good job, from what I can tell. Yeah. I gave them some feedback. I've given them a little bit of feedback here and there, but I think they're doing a nice job. Number 6, just to quickly try to wrap the substance for now over. I mean, we did start a little late, but still, we probably have other things going on in our lives. Report on individual assignments. Is anyone feeling a need to report on something that we have not yet covered? Very good.
This is not an individual assignment, Darren. I will report, if you were not aware, that your daughter's first policy paper that she wrote for me is on transit-oriented development. And we had a rich conversation about all of the potential objections to her proposal, and she addressed them. It was fun.
That's great. Yeah, she wants to be you, Matt. My daughter does. So yeah, this is
So she wants to have a dose of reality. Finishes her degree.
actually, she wants to be you. She likes the consulting side. So
There's
there's
some reality there too.
yeah. Be fun to talk to you about the difference between your side and the consulting side sometimes. So, yeah. Do I have a motion for approval of minutes from last time? I've looked through them, and I guess I will just move approval because I'm interested in being done here soon. So I move
I'll
approval.
second.
Hey, all in favor?
I
Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll move to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your help, everyone. Great discussion.
Yeah, that was good.
Are you gonna be
I-
on Zoom at the next meeting, or are you back here?
I return August 15th, so I will be on Zoom for August 3rd and then. back.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Our next meeting. We'll see you, Quinn.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Quinn.
I gotta run home.